Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Thank you so very much for joining me. It is September Self-Love Challenge. We are still continuing with it and we are on week 3. Kindly do forgive me for not updating you guys on time, for not uploading on time. Load shedding will be the end of me, but I refuse in the name of Jesus Christ. We are here today with a new video for week 3 and we are celebrating oneself and letting go of past mistakes. As you can see, I'm not sitting alone today. I have an amazing lady that I recently met and I cannot wait for you to meet her. So without wasting any time, let's get right straight into this video. Today is going to be an informative conversation with one amazing lady, I promise you. I cannot wait for you to dive into this with us. But before we get all deep, let me allow her to introduce herself. Hi, Sis Pam.
Hey, Tuba.
How are you?
I'm so well, and how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking your time.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
You have a busy schedule, by the way.
I know, right?
So this really means a lot.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. It means a lot for you to invite me as well.
Thank you. So to somebody that doesn't know you, who is Pamela?
Well, Pamela is somebody who's recently rediscovered herself. Mother of 2.
Aww.
And now I'm your neighbor. And
Yes.
so
I'm so excited for that.
It's amazing. Small world.
Right.
You know, we connected on certain levels, and I was inspired by what you do. So
Thank you.
I really, I was, you know, I looked at you and I thought, wow, the younger Pam had this in her, but she suppressed it, and yeah, so now here we are.
Well, we are here for you to share all your gems. I know you are fully packed. Right, so as you know that we are in the September Self Challenge and it's all about loving yourself.
Right.
What would you say self-love is according to you?
Okay, for me, self-love does not necessarily mean being selfish. Self-love for me, and how I have embraced it, as making time for myself. You know, putting my needs first where it's required. Like I said, I'm a mom of 2, but I realized if I do not have enough love within me, I will not have enough to give to them.
Yeah.
So obviously through you know, my background, I'm recently divorced, and I'm finding myself. I've found myself, let me say, and enjoying my space and being able to, you know, to make the necessary boundaries.
Yeah.
To protect who Pam is and who Pam wanted to be, and you know, being able to come out there and be myself again, find that little child, that little Pam that I had within me growing up. Yeah.
Right. There's something that you said that stuck with me, that part of self-love is having boundaries.
Sure.
Because sometimes we allow people so much to come into our lives, to take space into our lives.
Absolutely.
And we start not giving as much attention to ourselves.
Right.
Even as a parent, you still need to have boundaries so that you can have time for yourself.
Sure.
As a wife, as a partner, whatever, you still need to have certain level of boundaries. How do we then draw the line between self-love, having that boundary, and not being selfish or not looking like we're being selfish?
You gotta fulfill yourself first. You are to there before you are somebody else. I am Pam before I am so and so's mom. Before I am so and so's wife. So I rediscovered myself through the journey that I for pretty much most of my adult life, I was a people pleaser because I thought that was a way to fit in. But as I see it now, I actually enjoy my own space and my own, my own comforts, little as they may be. There's a lot of adjustments with the life that I'm living now. Compared to where I was, but does that stop me from creating my own happiness? Absolutely not. And I figured now that I am in this space, there's positive energies that I'm drawing in, and people are beginning to notice that. Before it was more of professional. You gotta look the part. You gotta say the right things. You gotta do this. You gotta do the other. It felt like a facade. But now I am here, and for me, it comes naturally. It's because I've allowed myself to be. I mean, I've stopped criticizing myself where there's no need to criticize myself. As far as I'm concerned, I've done well with the kids. I'm a single parent, single-handedly seeing to their needs, and I'm proud of what I've achieved and who I am.
Oh, I wish people could see you and know you. You are doing absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
There is something that you keep on repeating, and it connects with what week 2 last week was about. Our first week.
Right.
That you need to know yourself. You need to know who you belong to.
Absolutely.
You need to know what are your values, what are your principles. That is like the first thing about loving yourself. You keep on mentioning rediscovering yourself. How hard was it? I know the transition definitely was not easy from being a married person then to being single. Do you think having to transition from that, it might have affected how you felt about yourself, whether you're a good person, good enough, those sorts of things?
Without disclosing much, I would just say perhaps I measured myself according to somebody else's barometer.
Ooh.
And, when you're not good enough for somebody, you then bring in that negative energy, and you feel you're not good enough for anybody else.
Yeah, or anything.
So I second guessed myself a lot, but I knew I had the potential. I'd go out there, like I say, do what I needed to do, work wise, and stuff, and come home and be a total mess. But now I figure I come home, I dance. I mean, if something is playing, and I feel like I gotta give in some of those dance moves. I ain't a great dancer, but
you are a vibe.
So I just thought, let me be.
Yeah.
Let me be. If I do not, if I constantly seek validation from somebody who is not prepared to give it to me, who is continuously crushing you, you will eventually not realize what God has actually created you for. You're a being created in His image, and you gotta thrive. You gotta thrive. It's not about what people say or how people perceive you. It's about who you are.
Yeah.
And who you are comes first, because you can please yourself first. You cannot lie to yourself. Once you start lying to yourself, then you will do yourself an injustice.
Yeah.
So
very true. Very true. It must be hard. I know this because I was also that. I was also a people's pleaser.
Sure.
I would sometimes not say no to an invitation
Right.
when I know I'm not available.
Absolutely.
And I'll try to force myself there because I don't want to seem like I'm not trying hard enough or I'm being selfish and everything like that. So it's a very hard step.
And it drains you.
Yeah, it drains you. And it's so funny that we do not realize that when we put on this facade to try and do things that make other people happy, we are losing ourselves in the process. We are denying ourselves of actually becoming what God has intended for us to become.
Absolutely.
But the more funnier thing for me was realizing that, wait, me being myself is actually as attractive to people. You know?
You will be attractive to the right
people.
So we spend so much time trying to be somebody else and attracting a person that is not meant for you, or friends that are not meant for you, or circles that are not meant for you because you want to fit in. And no, do you, and the right people will come. I'll give you an example. With my recent move here, I haven't been in a setup like this, a complex, an estate, for many years. And so it took a lot of adjusting. But, in the mornings when I hear the school kids leaving, there's something that gets ignited in me, because I lost all those years of hearing my own kids preparing for school because I was so worried about being the best the super mom, what will my ex-husband think? What is this? What is going on? I always had, my mind was so jumbled up with all other things that did not matter. But now just hearing them dragging their bags past my bedroom window is like, wow, I missed out on all this because my mind was so clouded by being or trying to be what someone else wants me to be. So I find it very, very interesting. I mean, it's a huge change for me, but I must say, my kids are grown now. My eldest is in first year university, and my daughter is in boarding school. So most of the time I'm alone, and I get to reflect. And they love the person that I've become now. I've become a better mom. I've become because I chose me, and I chose to fill my cup.
Because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Absolutely.
That is, oh my goodness. That is so true. So today we are talking about celebrating ourselves.
Absolutely.
When last did you celebrate yourself?
I celebrate myself all the time. If I can, believe it or not, I can go into a restaurant and sit and order the best meal that is available on my own. And why not? And my birthday is a priority. Yeah, and another way that I celebrate myself is flowers. I love flowers. So at any given time, I have a bunch of flowers because I will not wait for somebody else to be getting me flowers. I give myself flowers. So.
And also, like, when you do things for yourself, right? You barely take time or spend so much effort in trying to make people do things for you. Absolutely. Or get touched when people don't do certain things. Like, if you take yourself out, if you buy yourself flowers, then when somebody doesn't, even if you're in a relationship, it's not going to
phase you.
Yeah, it's not going to phase you that much.
Because that's where the small fights start. Oh, you don't buy me flowers. No, get your own flowers.
Yeah, man.
So and then focus on other aspects of a relationship. But find yourself first. Don't. For me, the main part of self-love is being able to make myself happy first and finding my own happiness and not having to rely on my friends or whoever, my family, or I need to be happy first. They find me at my point of happiness.
Yeah.
And then we get happy together.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard quite of happiness around my house.
Oh, that's why I'm saying it's such a vibe. She is an absolute joy, guys. She is an absolute joy. And I made a mission for her to be spending so much time on this channel because there's not just a lot to learn, but you have such a great energy. And I think it shows when somebody loves themselves. When somebody loves themselves, it's not from a point of I'm being selfish. I only think about myself. I think I'm better than other people. My feelings come first. But it's saying I am as important as the next person that I'm trying to think of.
Absolutely.
Right? So if we are in a friendship or relationship or even a workship, whatever decisions that we are making, they also need to make me happy.
Absolutely.
Right? So that I can give off positive energy. Correct. Because whatever energy I'm going to give, if I was never happy about the decision, it's fake.
Absolutely.
It's fake.
Absolutely.
What was the biggest thing, or what has been the biggest thing that you feel like in your life hindered you from loving yourself?
Sweating the small stuff.
Ooh.
I don't have time for that anymore. Anything that consumes 30 seconds of my time in negativity, I shut it out because I figured it takes away the good that I'm trying to show out there. So why bury myself in sweating the small stuff? Like I say, it's being where I am now. I'm starting all over, and it's there's always this what will people say syndrome. People will always talk. There's always. That's why even in news it's called breaking news. It will break and it will eventually just die down. So I'm here, and I must say the people who continue to love me in the space that I am now, were meant to be there. Those who were never meant to be there fell off. So I'm here. People still love me the same way they loved me when I was in this glorious life, if you wanna, for lack of a better word. And they love me equally when I'm here. And so it's because of who I am, what I filled myself with. I rediscovered that I needed to live for the purpose that God made me for, and hence I am thriving. If you say I've got great energy.
You have an amazing energy.
So I just it's amazing. You blossom better. Yeah.
Very, very. I love the example that you made, that the people that are for you are still with you right now.
Correct.
In the space where you are.
Correct.
I was trying to think of an analogy basically where imagine something that is growing. As you grow to a greater stature or position or whatever, there is no way that you can grow without the pruning process.
Absolutely.
Like certain things need to fall off.
Fall away.
Yeah, certain things need to fall away. The branch that was there last year holding a certain fruit might not be there next year. Absolutely. It was good enough to hold that fruit, but it may not be good enough for the following year. And that's the other thing that we need to learn, that some people are just seasonal. And it's okay for us to accept. It has nothing to do with you being a bad person, not having done good enough. They were okay to make an impact at that particular time. It's a lot.
I just walked away. Walked away from toxic environment, and decided I'm not even taking anything. I'm
Yeah.
starting all over. And it's exciting going out there shopping, and it's reviving me. I'm seeing new things, and I'm like, oh wow,
Yeah.
there's thirst. Okay, I need it.
Yeah. And like just celebrating every single little thing.
Absolutely.
You know, by the way, with your kind of work, you're a facilitator.
Mhm.
Sometimes you may wonder whether you spoke good enough, whether people heard you and whatnot like that. But then you see the results
Right.
of your work.
Right.
It's important that you can tap yourself, pat yourself in the back, say, well done.
Well done, Pam. I do that every single day as I step out, whatever client that I'm working at. I give myself a pat on the back, because if you don't, you know, recognize your own abilities, you. But I do so in conjunction with constructive criticism.
Yes.
Because that helps us grow.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but I embrace the efforts that I put into my work, and you know, the kind of feedback that I get. It excites me, and I think for me it's no longer a facade. It's coming naturally. I just walk in there, and I'm a Pam. And the other greatest aspect for me is humility. Humility plays a huge role in for my self fulfillment. I don't need to for people or whoever to know this or the other. You know, it's not about flaunting yourself. It's about engaging and having the right conversations with the right people. And the minute you know, people just dig in and realize who you are, and that you are coming out as a genuine person. As you know, it doesn't matter what where you are, what space you are, but the type of energy that you are exuding at the time, people do feel it, and they you know, they meet you there.
True.
And they embrace you for who you are.
So, last question. In brief, what would you say to someone who is struggling to celebrate themselves because of past mistakes, something that they've done? You know, it could be one thing that they did or something that happened to them. They're really struggling to move on, but they would like to start acknowledging the good and everything like that. What would you say? Where do they start?
Mistakes should be made. Mistakes have to be made if you are to grow. That's why even in stationery there's an eraser. So if you cannot be prim and proper all the time, but grow from your mistakes, learn from your mistakes. If you never make mistakes, you will never know what to change. So we all do make mistakes. It's I'm yet to meet one person who will say they haven't. So embrace them. Embrace your mistakes and learn from them. Learn from them, grow from them. You know, dust yourself. Get up and dust yourself and say, okay, take two. I'm going right in. But this and mistakes also help you to change the course of direction you're taking. Perhaps you are on a wrong trajectory altogether, and now that mistake, that roadblock, has caused you to divert back to
where you're meant to be. That is so powerful. There's always something to learn.
Absolutely.
Even if you are the one that did something that is wrong, the fact that God still has you, has given you a continuity in this life, it's an opportunity to say, wow, I've been given a second chance. Let me use it wisely, right? I don't think that God will continuously give us second chances if we have done mistakes, if we are not meant to right our wrongs.
He is a forgiving God.
He is a forgiving
God. So
God.
if He is constantly forgiving us for all of our sins, we can also beat Him somewhere and forgive ourselves too.
Right? very much. Thank you so much, Sis Pam. This was
Thank you
so
too.
lovely, guys.
Thank you.
By the way, she is so gorgeous. Like, have you seen the smile? It's absolutely amazing. I appreciate your time.
Thank you too, thank you for having me.
Aw.
Thank you so much.
Guys, how can I not be happy when I live with such a beautiful woman next to my house? And she has such a vibe. I have to mention that so many times. And every time I see you, there's no way I cannot have a smile on my face.
Oh,
and I think that's what I appreciate.
Thank you.
The energy. And I just would like to say, from a younger person, to say, I may not know much.
Right.
But man, your life in those 2 seconds that I've met is enough of a testimony of be happy. Be you.
All the time.
Thank you so much for taking the time again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tiva.
Guys, this has been so nice, and I'm hoping that you had a great time. If you do have any questions, comments, you are welcome to please note them down on the comment section. Please do not forget to subscribe and join this family officially by hitting up that subscribe button over there. Really, really appreciate your time hanging out with me. Until next time, have a good one. Bye. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you haven't already, subscribe. Show me some love by sharing. And do not forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a video. Have a good one.